Hello guys, unranked Draven to Masters here, back with another video. Today we're going to do a VOD review on my friend Reaper Cat. I'm currently Emerald 4. I played a lot of Vayne. You what? And I've been doing very well with Vayne in particular. And my friend here is Hardstuck Urgot. And I hate to say it, Reaper, but when you watch this video, bro, you'll know why. I promise you'll know why you're hard stuck, and if you really pay attention to this video, you will get out of gold, bro. We're gonna do a VOD review on him. This is his match history on this account. This is his main. This is his main account right here. Yasuo plays a lot of characters, and I do mean quite a bit. He plays quite a bit of characters this season. Not a lot compared to some of the other people I've seen. He plays quite a bit of different characters, I should say. Like, you know, he plays Nefiri, Urgot, Lux, Yasuo, and Darius on this account. And on the other account, and on this account, he actually ends up playing a bit more. Separate roles, separate characters, separate champions. And honestly, I don't like it. I think most of us can agree that if you want to climb, right? If you want to climb and get into the higher ranks, you're going to have to focus on one role. Very few people can really maximize their skill level on separate roles all the different times, because these roles have different play styles, you know. ADC has different play style than, you know, top lane, and mid lane has a different play style than top lane. You know, he's played a lot of different champions and a lot of different roles. Primarily, he likes to play top, mid, and sometimes AD carry. He plays a little bit of AD carry, and I was kind of confused when I saw that. I'm like, why is this guy playing Caitlyn when he's really good with Urgot? He could just get out of gold by playing Urgot. He's decent with Alawi. He's decent with Lux. Actually, I'd say Lux is probably one of his better picks, and Lux could be if you're good with Lux, you're probably gonna climb. And honestly, just pick whichever character you love the most, and just maximize your skill with that character. For me, that was Darius. For me right now, it's Vayne. Like, Vayne has a really high skill cap. Vayne, Ezreal, Jinx, they all have super high skill caps. Sorry, my dog is going ape shit. These characters have very high skill caps. Once you get really good with these characters, once you start reaching that skill ceiling, you'll start to see yourself improve big time. And guys, just on the down low, just keep it to about 1 or 3 champions, okay? Preferably 1 or 2 champs, max. And, you know, let these champs be the champs you guys like to play, you know. Don't pick the OP champs, alright? Don't be a meta slave. Pick the champs that you genuinely like to play the most. And I guarantee you, once you get really good with these champions, you'll be so goddamn good, alright? Anyway, let's move on to what I think his second biggest problem is. That and the fact that he gets tilted big time. I used to get tilted. I still do, actually. I get tilted quite a bit. It's insane. Some of these players have no brains. I mean, it's just how it is. Shout out to all the Husky owners. He gets tilted, and sometimes he just straight up runs it. And you could see it in his match history. Not really on his main account, though, but you could see he has a high death average. You know, 11 deaths, 7 deaths, 14 deaths. That's pretty high. 6 is okay. 8. You know, 10, 13, 14, 8, and then there's 4, pretty good. Then there's 2, you know, that's 18 minutes in the game, you know. With that being said, let's move on to some actual gameplay. I really do think that these are, you know, the 2 of his biggest problems. He might have a couple mechanical issues, but mechanical issues you just have to play to fix. So yeah, let's go see and let's watch one of his games where his team was ahead about 3 times, and you know, he could have won the game for his team this game, I believe. We'll have to watch the footage and see just what he did wrong. And, yeah, let's get into it. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first VOD review of Reaper Cat. I, unfortunately, already recorded this episode, and I think it's a really good episode. Unfortunately, it didn't record the in-game sound at all, so I have to do it all over again. I will make the same points. I will point out everything I can, and make sure everything is all legit. Now, I already know how this goes. Man, I'm so fucking pissed that I have to record this again, but it's such a good game to learn from. I can't redo, like, I can't do another game. That's basically what I'm saying.
Minions have spawned.
Classic Trundle behavior, to be honest. Anyway, we start off the lane by taking a little bit of an aggressive note. I made this comment before, I'll make it again. If your top laner, if your opponent has lethal tempo, right? Level 1. Chances are, if they're an auto attack based champion like Trundle, Irelia, Yone, and even Darius in some instances, and Set, you know, if you're like those champions, you're gonna win the level 1 almost every single time. Especially if you're playing Urgot with PTA. Let's see how Reaper takes this fight. Okay. So let's go back. We know that Trundle has lethal tempo. So we have to pay him a little bit of respect. Because if we don't, he'll run us down and kill us. He doesn't even need Ignite to do it. After here, he should have just walked this way. Instead, he walked that way. And, alright, so he has TP. He has to TP here, so I'm glad he did. Because if he didn't, it would have been pretty bad for him. He would have lost a lot of DS. He TP's too. Another good TP, right? An important part of the top lane is knowing where your jungler, the opposite jungler is of all time, like the enemy jungler. We know that Viego started bot side. We know he started blue side. If we looked at the beginning of the game, we'll see that his bot lane wasn't here, but Trundle was, right? So we know for a fact that because Trundle was up here, he started blue side. If you are playing top lane, and hell, even if you're playing bot lane, so this goes from top to bot lane as well. If you know he starts bot side, he'll be top side at around 3 minutes. So typically, what you should do here is that you should shove this wave in as fast as you can, go over here to ward, and heck, even check the scuttle. I know the scuttle isn't up yet, but he might be around here. So you can place a ward here, you can place a ward here. That's what I would have done here. Now here, Reaper makes a huge mistake. He has W and E to shove this wave in. And instead he takes a little bit of a trade with Trundle. The problem with this is that now the wave is stacked perfectly for Trundle here. Now, Viego has two options here. He could gank you, or he could invade Gwen. He ends up invading Gwen here, and he actually kills Gwen because for some reason they have a ward on her. If you shoved this wave in, instead of taking this little trade here, let's go back. If you shove this wave in a little bit faster to where this wave won't meet it here. If you shove this wave into the tower, you could have gone for a ward here, and you could have potentially helped Gwen here, and basically start the game off a huge dub. Killing him off of his invade like that would help your jungler out a ton. Now, keep in mind, I got the diamond as a top laner with this principle. I would play Olaf, and if I were blue side, which I believe this is red side, if I were blue side, I would just invade this. Because I know, like, if Gwen starts red, and if I were playing Trundle even. If I were playing Trundle in this instance, and I were shoving the wave in, like the same way that Urgot shoving the wave in, I would just invade here. Because I know the jungler is going to be here. And I know I beat the jungler because I'll probably be like a level ahead, or maybe the same level. Whatever. I'll be behind. So because this wave took a bit longer to shove in, Gwen gets invaded, and yeah, you could have warded here. You do check the scuttle, but checking the scuttle here, okay, so here's another mistake. You can see Ziggs standing here, right? Okay, Ziggs right now is a ward. He already has a ward here. He should be like almost here or here. But right now he's providing a lot of vision here and a lot of pressure. You know that Viego is here. There is no way Viego is at scuttle. You just checked. So what do? You walk into here. And you can test. Whether you kill him or not is up to him. He does have flash. So he probably gets away, but at least you get his flash. He does greed for the grop here. And he ends up walking out through this way. And he ends up getting the skull. So that was a little mistake that you made. But you know what? That one almost doesn't matter. So you walk up and you do nothing. You check the scuttle. You're like, okay, he's not at scuttle. Not worth my time, right? So you go back to lane. And here's the problem, right? You shove the wave in. That big ass wave, that was a free time to back. You back then, and you come back to lane, Trundle's wave is like right here, and you can catch all of it. Instead, what you do is you walk back to lane, and you have previously established from your one death already that Trundle is pretty strong. A normal player, a good player, would respect the Trundle here. Let's see what you do instead. So you take a really aggressive approach and you get soloed here. And I think you actually end up living here through some shred of luck. You still have a little bit of time to back, but you can't figure back because you don't want to lose CS here. But I hate to break it to you, you won't lose CS here if you back. You'll lose maybe one or two, right? Trundle should be hard shoving this wave, but he's not. I don't know if he saw Gwen in the river. It maybe seems like he saw Gwen in the river from Scuttle, and that's what maybe makes him slow push here. But if you see your laner doing this and they're ahead, just back. You only lose a couple, because your wave is going to meet this wave right here. And when you're walking back and when you're about right here, the wave's going to crash. You're not going to lose that much CS, but instead you stay. So let's see what happens. he shoves in the wave. Thankfully. He has no choice. The wave was going to shove in the so now you're low half HP. And you're in a bit of trouble, right? If this guy was good, he would just dive you. But you do like the pixel perfect E of all time. If you did that a millisecond later, you were dead 100%. But you timed your E perfectly with his Q, so he dies. A really risky play, but it ends up working out for you. So that's a good thing. We like plays like those. We like to get up to every now and then. That is really, really good. Now you back here. Your team at this point is actually doing really, really well. And it's a common theme. Your team does pretty well this game. So anyway, right now is like, you're not doing too bad. You're a little bit down to CS. But, you know, you're kind of in a picture here. You lose this 100% because he's just... You run away. The wave is in a really, really bad spot. And, yeah. I don't think he ends up killing you here. Oh. That actually kills you, I think. Yep. Just not giving your laner enough respect here. I get that you have to walk up because the wave is shoving, right? And right here you were fine, but then you chose to go back in. And then you got cooldowns back for Z, and now you're just dead. So I don't think you give your laners enough respect. They'll be more powerful than you early as Urgot. But your power spike really comes after your first item. So you come back, you should be getting level 6 pretty soon. You could have baited him here. Maybe you could have gone on him here and timed your level 6, because you know he doesn't have level 6. You could beat him here, but instead you choose not to do that. But that's a really small mistake. Those are the type of mistakes that I'm going to be discussing. Those are like really high level mechanical and macro mistakes. They really only matter in high elo. This is gold, so it really shouldn't matter. All the mistakes that you made previously almost don't even matter now, because Thunder refuses to take advantage of it. Alright, right here. You shove in the wave shoved in. This gives you power to go for a like a deep ward right here. You can ward the rift. You can ward here. You know that Viego is bot side. You could do rift here. Trundle's not really in the position to fight you right now. You could have done rift here. I'm going to show you guys what he did instead. He ends up staying here. He takes the trade. She loses. And he wastes a splash. So we could have gone for a deep ward on the rift, on the scuttle crab. Heck, you could have even warded your own blue, and that'd still be more value than what just happened now. He's 2 levels ahead of you. He does not need mana to beat you. For the record, he does not need mana to beat you at all. So, well, just a general lack of respect for your opponent. It's constantly giving away the leads that he's actually giving you. Now this fight was really, really smart. Let's go back. I want to see if you guys caught what I caught here. So the Trundle ends up going in there. And Urgot Q'd here instead of ulting here, which actually cucks him here. I'm guessing he wanted to ult after his Q this was a huge mistake. I highly recommend that you avoid doing it like that. When you flip somebody, you do not know if anybody's around or anything like that. I'm digressing here. You should always ult after your E, because in this instance, his Q costs 70 mana. His ult costs 100. He does not have enough mana for ult. He should have ulted him here instead of Qing, because if he ulted him here, he would have had enough mana for Q at the very end, and he would have killed Trundle a long ass time ago. Yeah, 25%. That's way lower than 25%. 25% is like right here. So I just really don't understand why he didn't ult the Trundle instead of Qing. And then on top of that, that happened. So the reason why I'm mentioning this, right, is that I hear a lot from you that you don't like, oh, your teammates are really dog shit, and it's your teammates' fault that you're held back. Well, all of these mistakes that I'm seeing are all done by you. They're like the Gwen getting invaded earlier. That was not her fault. She had no vision on him. Sure, she could have smited the move, but that reaction, she's not gonna get that reaction time. Remember that ward, that suggested ward from earlier? Well, now they're doing Rift. You guys could have done something about it if it was warded. So you would have missed the death. You wouldn't have died here. And you would have been able to contest Rift here, possibly throwing you guys back into the game here. So you are making mistakes here, and they are bad mistakes. These aren't mistakes you can get away with in the elo that I want to be in. So the Trundle really is not doing a fantastic job of capitalizing off of what's happening with you. So anyway, we see that Gwen is here, right? We're sitting here doing nothing, right? And we go in, we try to help. And you know, we go back, and we're gonna go back here, right? The wave is shoved in. You know, like Gwen pings right here. That's not really helpful, actually. She pings right here. And you go. She does like one of the worst ults of all time here. I don't know what that was. And now, yeah. So whatever. Wave's getting shoved in. And, yeah, do a little decent trade on him. He does have life skills due to his passive, though, so it's a little iffy on that. But I do believe you're actually still wrong. He actually, this tilts the fuck out. Trundle, by the way. He is super tilted now. So even though you had a really bad start, this Trundle is almost giving you a way back in, and you'll actually see over the course of this laning phase, this Trundle gets really, really tough.
Shut down.
Before, the Trundle was taking his time, you know, letting the wave do its thing. He's kind of manipulating how the lane was. Now he's AFK shoving in the wave because you killed him. Another huge tip. If you guys notice this, right? If you guys notice that their top laner is just losing their mind, like how he is right now, he's AFK shoving the wave in. Like, tell your team, bro. Seriously, say like Trundle's losing his mind right now, he'd probably rage quit after a game. Just saying. Let your teammates know what's happening. But kind of at the same time. Anyway, yeah. So you can tell he's super tilted because he's taking these kind of bad trades. Short trades are better for you. Like, what's happening right now is really good for you. And you know it. You see the potential here. I know you do. Another really good trade for you. He's still AFK shoving. He should be letting the wave shove out, but he's not. He's just AFK shoving on the wave. You end up placing the ward down. You just killed him. Yeah, all those short trades really did you wonders there. You don't win the all-in by any means, but you get the all-in. Coming the wave again, and you right. Yep. Awesome. I say your team is doing okay.
Turret plating will fall soon.
Down.
Shut down. Shut down. Red team.
So now you're the one shoving in the wave.
Killing spree. Red team's turret has been destroyed.
You did not win this. You ulted a little early. You did not win this fight by any means. He wins the all-in, you win short. I'm surprised that you don't see that by now, but that's why you lost. You do not win the all-in. Now Trundle's gonna butt fuck you away because of that. And you could have told like 10 minutes ago, oh, I don't win the all-in at level 1. You don't win the all-in ever because he has lethal tempo. And he's strong. Champion's really good at when we win, okay? So, I'm not surprised to see that. So we kind of shove in the wave, and we want to get tower because our tower is taken. You probably should have and this is just really sad. Yeah, I'm not too sure about that one, Riot. I'll be honest. That should have landed, in my opinion. But yeah, you really shouldn't go for R's like that anyway. You should save your R for a guaranteed kill, and I'll show you why.
Red team has slain the dragon.
Like the R he used on the game there was a good R by any means, but it was kind of a R. Right here. If he had R, it's the easiest R of his life right here. You save your R for guaranteed kills, do not save it for wild card hit, like half across the map hits, bro. It's the same thing for Ezreal, same thing for Jinx ults. Don't use it from across the map. How? What?
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
Okay, that's weird. Going for the shaker here to jump. Alright, so it's officially, I'd say this is about
Red team's turret.
Your team is doing pretty well now. You're up top, and now you have a little bit of a lead. That's pretty good. Right here, what would you guys do? There's two plays here. You could back and go bot, or you can TP bot. I would TP bot right here. This is a bad motherfucker. He will destroy the entire bot lane if you let him. Give him a minute, these two towers are gone. Maybe inhib. And let's see what he does instead. He goes into unwarded jump. He goes to
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
Actually, a pretty good aura. But I still think he should have TP bot, because the Ziggs ended up having to TP bot. You can't do shit up here because the wave's gonna take too long. And here is our like 7th mistake.
Inspire everything.
Can anybody tell me what's wrong with what he just did? What is a level 10 Jhin gonna do to a level 12 Urgot, right? I'm sure Urgot could one-shot this Jhin. If he had R. He doesn't. But that's not the important thing to discuss here. A ADC in general is not gonna walk up to an Urgot without help. And you breathe through the wave. He dies. Don't.
Shut down.
And now that you're dead, let's see what happens because you're dead, okay? Well, they get this turret. They need a rift.
Destroyed.
And you're back up here.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
Okay. And he goes for the Azir ult, but he misses. And he did need to. He wasted his ult again.